Hi guys, welcome back again to our YouTube channel in this series that is part 3 or series 3 you can say, which talks about building the financial model related to project finance, where we are building the models from the scratch, right? We have started, and in our last video we have covered till setting seat, and we have also covered the sample seat, right? So now moving forward we will be preparing the input seat, and after input seat then we will move on with the calculation sheet. By calculation sheet, I mean we are supposed to calculate the debt sheet, right? Share capital sheet. We are supposed to calculate the net working capital sheet. Then we are supposed to calculate the capex sheet, right? Asset sheet. So these sheets will be created as we will progress further, right? Now, once these sheets are completed, then we will start with our output sheets, which includes P&L, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. And apart from this, we will also calculate the cash waterfall. We will also complete the IRR calculation, and we will also see how dividends are calculated in a real world, right? So guys, let's start this video, and let's start with plotting the information here. So guys, first of all, let's say we already have our FY level, right? We already calculated this in our setting sheet, so there is no need to do it again, right? So what we are going to do is that we are going to link it from our setting sheet. So for FY level, I can directly link it from here, right? And so we have a 10 years timeline period, guys. So let's link it till here. And then let's remove or hide these unwanted rows, right? Or columns. We don't want this, right? So guys, this is done. Then we have a period level. We have still not calculated the period level. So for the time moment, let's leave it blank. Then for period from, we are already having this in our setting sheet. So let's link it to there. And then this also we have, this also we have, this also we have, right? And let's change the date format, guys. And we will follow this date format constantly in our model, right? Now let's link it. Correct. So this is done, guys. Now, just to make our model a little bit presentable, I will just change its text color to some good colors, I would say. Let's keep it as red, guys. Okay, so now moving next. What are the next steps that we have? Guys, let's look at our case study. So whenever we are building any input sheet, we should follow the case study that we have or the information that we have. So what is the first information that we have, guys? We have, like, the my business is going to get started from 1st January 2023. So I can say here, number one, right? Number one, I can say model start date, right? And the units for this is going to be in date, and I can say my model start date. I already mentioned it in this particular sheet, so there is no need to mention it again. So I will just link it from here, right? Because see, if you had placed the inputs in one place, then it's advisable that you should not do this again and again, because what will happen is that, let us suppose user of the model knows that, okay, so if he change the model start date at this place, then my model will be updated, right? And like, if we set up the input here, then the user of the model, let us suppose he wants to change the value from here, then the model will not get updated, right? So it's always advisable that for a particular type of input, it should always be placed on a single sheet, right? Then guys, after model start date, we have a model life, which means for how many years I need to build in, right? So I can say model life in years, and I can again link it to my setting sheet. Okay. Then we have a model end date. So model end date, and let's do this again, and I can again link it from there, right guys? So this is the way how we do it. Then I have plotted the enough information regarding model timelines. Then let's go back to our case study and see what does it say. So the next assumption that we have is regarding our capex timelines, right? So now we are going to build or put in the information of capex timelines in our financial model, right? So guys, let's start plotting the information. From column D, I can say, let's go a little bit up, and I can give them a heading as capex timelines, right? And guys, I taught you guys cell style. So for column D, I have a particular cell style, so I'm going to use that particular cell style here, right? Okay. So now guys, in capex timelines, what all information do we have? We have land development costs, storage area, production area, furnitures and fixtures, utility equipment and connections, and other capex costs. So let's start plotting these or putting this information in our Excel sheet, right? So I will just copy it, land development cost, then we have a storage area. Let's copy this quickly, guys. And then we have a production area, I would say. After production area, we have furnitures and fixtures. So let's put it furnitures and fixtures. And then we have utility equipments and connections. Then we have other capex costs, right? So let's match it. Land development cost is there, storage is there, production is there, furnitures and fixtures are there, utility equipment and connections, the other capex costs are there. Okay. Then guys, what is the next information that we have regarding this? So the next information that we have regarding this is my, I would say, number of months, for how many months these things are getting, like for how many months this thing will follow, right? So guys, for this, let's say land development cost, how many months I have 26 months, right? And for rest of the things I have total 2 months. So I can say 26 months is required for my land development cost, and for rest of the thing I require 2 months, right? Let's change it to other thing, right guys? So this is the months information that we have. Then we can have our start date, right? So when this is going to get started, right? And when it will be complete. So for example, let us suppose you are starting the model from 1st January 2023, and you say that first of all you need to do the land development for 26 months. Then this means that this will be completed after 26 months, right? So how I will plot this information in the model, just take a look carefully and you will understand this, right? And this is the practical way to do it, right? So first of all, we are going to have start date, then we can say end date, right? And then we can say number of days that it took to complete this, right guys? So let us suppose if your model is starting from 1st January 2023, then this means that my capex is getting started from 1st January 2023 unless stated otherwise, right? So guys, what will be my start date? So my start date, I can quickly link it from my model start date, right? And then what next we have end date. So when it will end guys, so this is going to end on after 26 months. So I can say equals to e date, right? E date, this is my start date, and after 26 months give me a date of after 26 months, right? So this will be, this will start from, sorry, this will get end on guys 28 February 2025, right? Correct guys, any problem in understanding this? Okay, now let's move ahead guys. So what next do we have? Storage area. So I can say for storage area, it is going to be equals to my ending date of this plus 1, right? So let us suppose if my land development cost gets end on 28th February 2025, then this means that my storage area construction should start from 1st March 2025, right? And then I can copy the same formula here. Now I can copy these two formulas and I can drag it down. Right, guys? So now you can see your construction is completed on 31st December 2025, right? Now, how many days required for construction? So I can say end date minus start date. I can get my number of days that was required for construction, guys, right? Now, just to make our model little bit, I would say presentable, let's change the alignment to middle, right? Now, guys, just I will place one border, right, just to make this little bit more good looking. So I can say total, right? And total here it is going to be sum of all this, right? And here it is not required, and here also I can say sum of these days, right, guys? So this was my total here. Right, guys? So this is the information regarding capex timelines that you have in your model, right? Now, guys, let's start and let's move forward to our operations date, right? So, guys, before that, first of all, let's say in this particular cell, let's say construction start date, right? And I can say the units is going to be in date, right? And when my construction is going to get started, guys, I can link it from my land development cost, right? So this is my construction start date. Now my construction period. So how much period I'm going to have my construction. So I can say construction period in months, right? And this I can link it with this total number, right? And then at last I can have my construction end date, and this is again going to be in date format, guys. And how we can calculate this? So we can calculate this, either we can link it to other capex costs end date, or what you can do, you can use a formula for e date here, right? You can use both the ways, right? So start date is for 2023, months 36 and minus 1, right? So you can see other capex cost was the last item that was required for my capex, right? And it ended on 31st December 2025 due through, I would say, the logic of the table. And here also you can see we have calculated 31st December 2025, right? So this is all regarding my construction end date, guys. Then next we have our operations operations start date, right? So when will my operations get started? So guys, just being logical, let us suppose if your construction is getting ended on 31st December 2025, then this means that your operations will start one day after it, right? So your operations is going to get started from 1st January 2026, correct, guys? Now we are going to um, calculate some flags here, right? Now you all will ask me what is a flag, right? So guys, flag is basically a denotation in Excel which will help you to avoid complex formulas, right? And it's very convenient and it's very easy to understand, right? So generally flags have a value of 0 or 1. If the flag's value is 0, then this means that flag is inactive, and if the flag value is 1, then that means that flag value is active, right? So guys, in professional life what we do is that we always calculate flags in our model, and you will see that whenever we are incorporating flags in our model, our calculations becomes easier and our model is more clean, right? सो गाइज प्लीज आपको कोई बताएगा नहीं कि फ्लैग कैसे यूज करना है, कैसे कैलकुलेट करना है, बिकॉज आधे लोगों को आता ही नहीं है, राइट? द पर्सन हु आर टीचिंग यू दी स्किल्स, most of them don't know how to calculate flags and what are flags, right? But again, here we are teaching you what are flags and how to calculate it and why it is important, and you will see कि जितने भी हम यहाँ पे जहाँ पे जरूरत होगी, we will calculate flags as per our convenience and your life will become very convenient, right? वो जो कहते हैं ना मक्खन मलाई वाली लाइफ हो जाती है, ये वो वाली लाइफ आपकी आ जाएगी यहाँ पे फ्लैग्स यूज करने से। सो गाइज हम स्टार्ट करते हैं। और ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन है इंटरव्यू पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से कि आपको फ्लैग्स आता है कि नहीं, व्हाट डू अंडरस्टैंड बाय फ्लैग्स, कैन यू कैलकुलेट फ्लैग्स, कैन यू बिल्ड फ्लैग्स इन द मॉडल, राइट? सो गाइज ये सब चीजें कोई बताएगा नहीं, ये सब प्रोफेशनल लाइफ में यूज होती है, बट आज का जैसा जनरेशन एंड द वे इट इज इवॉल्विंग कंटिन्यूअसली, लाइक द स्किल सेट इज गेटिंग अपग्रेडेड, राइट? सो दीज थिंग्स आर नाउ बिकमिंग आई वुड से लाइक ये सब कुछ डिफरेंशिएटिंग फैक्टर है जो आपको स्टैंड आउट करती है इंटरव्यू में एज कंपेयर टू अदर्स, राइट? सो गाइज दिस इज ऑल रिगार्डिंग इट। सो गाइज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल लेट्स स्टार्ट बिल्डिंग द फ्लैग्स फॉर कंस्ट्रक्शन, राइट? सो आई कैन से फ्लैग्स फॉर कंस्ट्रक्शन phase, right? So now what value it will take? So it will take either a value of 0 or it can take a value of 1, right guys? Now what does this flag mean? So this flags mean it, so it will give me a value of 1 till the point my construction is activated, right? So when your construction is going to get started, it is starting from 1st January 2023 and it is going to end on 31st December 2025। ध्यान देना थोड़ा यहाँ पे गाइस, 1 जनवरी 2023 से स्टार्ट हो रहा है कंस्ट्रक्शन और ये एंड हो रहा है 31st दिसंबर 2025 को, करेक्ट? तो फ्लैग में 1 का वैल्यू कब तक आना चाहिए? सो योर फ्लैग शुड गिव यू अ वैल्यू ऑफ 1 फ्रॉम फर्स्ट, लाइक पहला पीरियड में तो होगा जो 1 जनवरी से स्टार्ट हो रहा है 31 दिसंबर 2023 को खत्म हो रहा है, ठीक है? दूसरा पीरियड में भी होगा विच इज स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम 1st जनवरी 2024 एंड एंडिंग ऑन 31st दिसंबर 2024, राइट? दूसरा पीरियड में भी ये 1 देगा और तीसरा पीरियड में भी 1 देगा, उसके बाद ये 0 देना चाहिए, करेक्ट? क्योंकि उसके बाद आपका ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट हो रहा है, राइट? सो यू कैन से कि अब फ्लैग इनएक्टिव हो जाएगा कंस्ट्रक्शन का, बिकॉज अब कंस्ट्रक्शन चल ही नहीं रहा, तो फ्लैग क्या करेगा यहाँ पे, करेक्ट गाइस? सो दिस इज द वे इन विच यू शुड लुक एट इट, राइट? अब हम इसमें फॉर्मूला लगाते हैं। तो गाइज मैं आप लोग को एक चीज बताता हूँ, प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस है, अगर आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आए, ठीक है, और अगर आप कभी भी फ्लैग कैलकुलेट करना चाहते हैं इन योर मॉडल, राइट, ऑलवेज गो विथ इफ फंक्शन, राइट? इफ फंक्शन इज द वे, और ये बहुत लॉजिकल फंक्शन होता है इफ, आप लोगों को पता है, राइट? एंड इन दिस वे you can calculate the flags easily, but you should understand why you are calculating it, right? So guys, I can say equals to if, right, if my period ending date, right, if my period ending date is less than or equal to my construction period ending date, right, then give me 1, otherwise give me 0, right? So now you can see my I got a flag of 11000000, right? So this means that whatever we understood theoretically, that we are now able to achieve through our formulas, right guys? Any question in here? So guys, this is the importance of flags. Now we are going to calculate the flags for operations phase, right? So let's just copy this, save our time, right? And I can say operations phase, right? And how we are going to calculate it, guys? So in order to calculate it, we are going to say equals to if, right? Equals to if my operation start date equals to if my operation start date is less than or equal to, right? I need to freeze my operation start date, guys, here, right? I can say if my operation start date is less than or equals to my period ending date, then give me 1, otherwise give me 0, right? So this means that my flag for operations are getting activated from the point where the operations are started. Correct, guys? Any problem in understanding this? You should not face any problem, right? You can think the formula and you will find that it is very easy to incorporate, right? Okay, guys. Now, moving ahead. I had told you guys that I will put in labels after some period of time, right? So now the time has arrived where we are going to say that whether this is a construction phase or whether this is a operations phase, right? So how we are going to calculate this? So I can say period label, right? And now this is going to be in text, guys, right? So I can say equals to if, right? Equals to if, equals to if this is equals to 1, right? Then give me construction, right? Otherwise, give me operations, right, guys? So now you can see it is giving you construction, operations, 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 right, guys? So that's why I didn't calculate it earlier. Now you can see how easily through flags you are able to achieve this, right? So you can see like your life has become easier now, right? You are able to achieve it easily through the flags, right? So now what I will do, I will go back to my setting sheet, right? I will go back to my setting sheet and I will link this from this particular cell, right? So that my period levels are also updated, right, guys? So now you can see I had said for construction I am going to use cons and for operations I am going to use operations. Right, guys? Okay. So now I can link this from my settings sheet. So let's just link it to settings sheets, guys. And now you will see that it is working perfectly fine. Now let's do a little bit formatting for it. Guys, see your model presentations are very important, right? You may find this boring, but in reality, this is very much required, guys. So please pay attention to formatting as well, right? Now you can see my model is looking very neat and clean, right? So this is very important, guys. Don't just forget this, right, guys? Okay. Then we have a next flag which says my operations period number flag, right? So guys, before this, let's insert a line and I can say operations period number flag. Now, what is the meaning of this flag, guys? Now, the meaning of this flag is that let us suppose if you are starting your operations from FY26, I can say that this is my first year of operations. FY27 is my second year of operations. FY28 is my third year of operations. Then fourth, fifth, sixth, so on and so on, right? So this is the flag that I wanted now, right? Now, how I can calculate this, guys? So now I can calculate this very easily. So I can say equals to previous period plus my equals to previous period plus the value of my flags for operations phase, right? And now you can see you will easily get it, right? So now you can see how much your life has been sorted, right? So this is the thing that is required, right? So now you can see how easily I calculated it using flag, right? Your life has become simple. तो guys हमें अपना लाइफ सिंपल बनाना है, राइट? हमें चीजों को कॉम्प्लेक्स नहीं करना है, राइट? हमें चीजों को सिंपल बनाना है. Now guys, I use this cell, right? This is a blank cell and I use this cell for my calculations, so I can give them my cell reference of, sorry, cell style of previous period. Correct, guys? Any problem? Okay. Now let's move ahead. गाइज अगर आपको कुछ समझ में नहीं आता है आप हमें रीच आउट कीजिए थ्रू आवर वेबसाइट, और फिर या फिर नहीं तो आप यहाँ पे कमेंट कर सकते हैं, राइट? और यू कैन रीच आउट टू अस, बट इट्स बेटर इफ यू आर रीचिंग आउट टू अस थ्रू आवर वेबसाइट, राइट? हम आपका डाउट क्लियर कर देंगे, राइट? सो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट. आई नो कुछ चीजें आपको समझ में नहीं आएंगी, बट स्टिल प्लीज लेट अस नो इफ यू आर फेसिंग एनी प्रॉब्लम विथ एनीथिंग, राइट गाइस? ओके. सो लेट्स मूव अहेड गाइस. अब हमें क्या कैलकुलेट करना है? सो अब हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं गाइस. हमने फ्लैग बना लिया कि ठीक है कंस्ट्रक्शन फेज का फ्लैग क्या होगा, ठीक है, ऑपरेशन डेज का फ्लैग कैसे होगा, ऑपरेशन पीरियड नंबर का फ्लैग भी हमने बना लिया, अच्छा लग रहा है मॉडल, राइट। अब हम बनाते हैं कि हम एक साल में कितना दिन कंस्ट्रक्शन कर रहे हैं, राइट। गाइज ये सब मैं जो भी बना रहा हूँ ना, इन सब का यूज होने वाला है, राइट। सो डोंट जस्ट थिंक ये मैं यूजलेस बना रहा हूँ, वेन एवर आई विल स्टार्ट कैलकुलेशन सीट इट विल बी यूज, राइट। सो गाइज अब हम बनाते हैं नंबर ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन डेज इन ए ईयर, राइट। सो एक साल में हम कितना दिन कंस्ट्रक्शन कर रहे हैं, तो अभी हम ये बनाएंगे गाइज, और इसका जो हमारा यूनिट्स होने वाला है दैट इज गोइंग टू बी इन डेज, राइट। ओके, देन नेक्स्ट वी हैव अ नंबर ऑफ ऑपरेटिंग डेज इन ए ईयर, राइट। हम किसी साल कितना दिन ऑपरेटिंग डेज है हमारा, राइट गाइस। ओके, अभी हम इसको कैसे कर सकते हैं, ओके। सो गाइस बिफोर डूइंग इट, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आपको पता है आपका नंबर ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन डेज इन अ ईयर कितना है, राइट। सो हम इसको यहाँ से लिंक कर लेते हैं, so guys I can say equals to my number of operation days is 1090, right। करें गाइस, इसको दूसरा तरीका से भी कर सकते हैं, कैसे कर सकते हैं, सो आई कैन से इक्वल्स टू, आई कैन से इक्वल्स टू my construction end date minus my construction start date, राइट। और हमें सेम डे को भी लेना है गाइस, तो हम यहाँ पे +1 को ऐड करेंगे, अरे गाइस। अब इस सीट को हम एक स्टाइल दे देते हैं, इसको थोड़ा मॉडलेस इनपुट की तरह यूज करेंगे, तो इसको मैं 1096 दे दे रहा हूँ, राइट गाइस। ओके, अब आप एक चीज ध्यान से देखिए, यहाँ पे आपका टोटल नंबर ऑफ डेज आ रहा है 1090, राइट। और यहाँ पे अगर आप 36 मंथ्स को कैलकुलेट करोगे तो आपका जो डेज आएगा 1096, राइट। तो यहाँ पे हम ऐसा क्या गड़बड़ कर रहे हैं, राइट। तो गाइज यहाँ पे जो प्रॉब्लम हो रही है, यहाँ पे प्रॉब्लम ये हो रही है कि हम इस दिन को इग्नोर कर रहे हैं, जो हमारा एक दिन है ना उसको हम इग्नोर कर दे रहे हैं यहाँ पे, तो अभी हमें उसको थोड़ा चेंज करना पड़ेगा, राइट। सो लेट्स नॉट इग्नोर दैट डे, और हम इसको अब यहाँ पे वापस से ऐसे करते हैं, राइट। नाउ यू विल सी कि ये आपका मैच हो जाएगा, करेक्ट गाइस। पहले क्या हो रहा था ना कि -1 करने की वजह से जो आपका लास्ट डे था वो इग्नोर हो जा रहा था, राइट। तो हमें उसको इग्नोर नहीं करना था, राइट। सो दैट्स व्हाई गाइस अभी मैंने इसको थोड़ा सा चेंज कर दिया है, तो नाउ इट विल वर्क परफेक्टली फाइन, एंड नाउ यू कैन सी इट इज इजिली मैचिंग इट विथ, राइट। ओके, सो दिस इज फाइन गाइस, नाउ लेट्स मूव अहेड। अब हम कैलकुलेट करते हैं नंबर ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन डेज इन अ ईयर, ओके। सो गाइज इसका फॉर्मूला पहले समझते हैं कैसे होगा। सबसे पहले आपको यहाँ पे क्या चाहिए, नंबर ऑफ कंस्ट्रक्शन डेज इन ईयर कैलकुलेट करने के लिए आपको सबसे यहाँ पे पहले यहाँ चाहिए 365, फिर यहाँ पे चाहिए आपको 366, फिर यहाँ चाहिए आपको 365, राइट। फिर उसके बाद ये आपका लीप ईयर नहीं है, फिर यहाँ पे आपको जीरो चाहिए, राइट, बिकॉज यहाँ से आपका ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट हो रहा है, फिर यहाँ से आपको 0000 चाहिए, राइट। अब हम इसको फॉर्मूला के थ्रू कैसे अचीव कर सकते हैं, नाउ हाउ आई एम गोइंग टू अचीव इट थ्रू फॉर्मूला, राइट। सो गाइज इन ऑर्डर टू अचीव इट थ्रू फॉर्मूला वी आर गोइंग टू से इक्वल्स टू, सबसे पहले हम 5/5 समझते हैं। सबसे पहले गाइज हम कहेंगे इक्वल्स टू मिनिमम, राइट। मिनिमम ऑफ व्हाट, मिनिमम ऑफ माय पीरियड एंडिंग डेट, minus, right, minimum of my period ending date minus my construction start date. When was my construction getting started, guys? तो यहाँ पे मेरा कंस्ट्रक्शन, यस, तो यहाँ पे मिनिमम ऑफ K13 माइनस J32, ठीक है, और फिर उसके बाद +1 कॉमा, या तो मेरे को 365 दे दो, तो 365 कैसे आएगा गाइस? सो आई कैन से दिस डेट माइनस दिस डेट, right? Otherwise, give me what was the total number of construction days in a year? 1096, right? Minus the sum of days which I had already covered till now. That is, अब हमें यहाँ पे इसको फ्रीज करना होगा. So now you can see you got your 365, 365 and this. अब हमने इस सेल को यूज किया है, तो हम यहाँ पे इसको फॉर्मेट कर देते हैं, राइट? एंड देन guys, let's go one period back, right? So I can say e date this comma minus 12, right? So, and this cell also I am using, so I can say modulus input and I can give them a date format. Okay, cool. So guys, you can see your number of construction days in a year is calculated now. Now we are supposed to calculate our number of operating days in a year, right? So this means that for in a year, for how many days we were operational, right? So guys, I can say equals to if, right? First of all, if my this date, right, my period ending date is less than equals to my model ending date, right? Then only I want the calculations, right? So if this is less than equals to this, then give me maximum, right? Maximum of what? Maximum of either give me 0, otherwise if under max we are using one min function as well. So this date, right? This date minus my construction period end date. So when your construction is ended, guys, it's ending on 31st December 2025, right? Let's freeze it. So I can freeze it, right? Otherwise, give me 365 days, right? Okay. If this is the case, this, then if my date is beyond my model period ending date, then simply give me 0, right? So now you can see that your number of operating days in a year are also populated. Okay, guys, let's move further. So let's go back to our assumptions and let's see what's the next assumptions that we have. Okay, so guys, first of all, we are having the assumption of capital structure, which is again split into debt and equity ratio of 70-30%, right? And then somewhere I must have assumed my inflation as well in this case study. Okay, so this seems like in this case study there is no inflation, but in order to make our model little bit, I would say, more dynamic or more realistic, let's assume inflation as well, right? Because inflation is required, right? So let's include a line for inflation, right? And it is going to be in percentage, and let's assume that it's going to be constant, right? It's going to be constant for every year, right? Or we can do one more thing. For every year, let's assume some inflation, right? So let's give it a input for every year. Like हर एक साल आप आके कोई भी inflation number change कर दो. Instead of giving it one input, हम इसको series input बना देते हैं, right? So what I can do, पहले साल हम 0 रखते हैं, फिर 2.5 रखते हैं। पहले इसको फॉर्मेट कर लेते हैं। राइट, पहले साल 0 रखते हैं, फिर 2.5 रखते हैं, and then let's assume till 2.5, right? Now the benefit of this series assumptions is that if you want कि FY27 में इन्फ्लेशन 2.5% नहीं होगा, लेट अस सपोज 5% होगा, सो दैट यू कैन चेंज इट एंड योर वैल्यू ऑफ द मॉडल विल बी अपडेटेड। अब इसको हम सेल स्टाइल बना देते हैं गाइस, सो लेट्स गिव इट अ सेल स्टाइल ऑफ इनपुट सेल्स, राइट, एंड देन let's format it, right? So inflation is done. Next, let's assume price increase, right? So inflation I will apply to the cost items and price increase I will apply to the prices increase, right? So let us suppose if I am selling my product at 20,000 and if I say my price is going to increase by 10% every year, so that is the difference between inflation and price increase here. Don't get confused here, guys, right? So let's assume it to be same, but again you want, if you want you can change any like any number, your model will be updated, don't worry about it, right? So next, what's next item do we have? So next item we have regarding our capital structure. So I can say my capital structure. Now since I placed it in D column, so let's give it a column style of D, right? Now in capital, what are the two sources, guys? One is equity, another one is debt, right? The percentage is going to be in equity and debt, right? Now if I say this is 30%, right, then this is going to be 1 minus 30%, which is 70%, guys, right? Don't worry about it, whatever inputs I am using I will just highlight them in a one go once I complete setting up our input sheet, right, guys? So let's go back to our case study. What's next do we have? Next we have product assumptions, right? So guys, let's start saying product assumptions, right? I can say product assumptions. Okay, now what all do we have in product assumptions? So guys, we have two different products, if you remember. One is related to sterilizers and the second one is related to incubators, right? So let's start plotting the information here. So first of all, let's say the information for sterilizers, right? So sterilizers. Okay, so just ignore spelling, guys. Sterilizers. Okay. So for sterilizers, first, what do we have? We have first market size. Okay. So I can say market size for sterilizers. And the units I am using is in INR thousands, right? And what is the assumption that I use for sterilizers, guys? It's 1015 INR. Okay. Right? Then what's next do we have? Next we have market share, I believe. Yeah, market share. So what is the market share that I am going to achieve of this market? And this is going to be, I assumed it to be 11.5%. Right, guys? Okay. After this, what is the growth rate? So growth rate, let's calculate. Growth rate should also be in percentage, guys. And growth rate, let's assume it to be 4.5%, which means that every year my market share is growing by 4.5%. Then next we have a price per unit, which is 25 INR thousands per unit. So I can say price, and the units should be in INR K per unit, right? And what is the price, guys? Price is 25. Okay. Then next we have a price premium, like if there are any premium which is applied to your prices. And price premium, again, I assumed it to be 0%, but if you want you can change any values. Okay. So guys, let's calculate one more thing. So let us suppose if your market share is 11.5% in 1 year, and if I say that it grows by 4.5% one every year, then how much units is in your demand, right? So how much units you are selling. So this we need to calculate it, because it's not a constant unit that you are going to sell every year. So now how can I calculate it? So I can say my units sold. And this is going to be numbers, guys. Now, how can I calculate this? So, I can say equals to if, right? Equals to if my period number is 1, right? Then give me what? Then give me what is the market size multiplied by my market share, right, guys? Okay. And then I can say, give me round up. So, I'm rounding it up, right? Otherwise, if this is not equals to 1, then give me previous period, right? Multiplied by 1 plus my growth rate, right? And now let's close it to 0. And everything is fine. Okay. So this is the market that you are going to capture when you will start your operations in FY 20 6, right? So you can think of it like this way. Let us suppose in when you started to construct, like why I am linked it with the period number 1. Some students will say कि सर आपने ऑपरेशन से क्यों नहीं ऑपरेशंस को ईयर 1 क्यों नहीं एज्यूम किया, राइट? सो गाइस यहाँ पे इसको आप इस तरीके से समझ, लेट अस सपोज आई एम स्टार्टिंग माय बिजनेस, राइट? एंड इन FY 23 आई एम स्टार्टिंग माय बिजनेस, एंड आई एम सेइंग कि FY 23 में मार्केट साइज इज 1015 INR थाउजेंड्स, राइट? देन दिस मीन्स कि अगर वो मार्केट साइज और हर एक साल 4.5% से बढ़ रहा है, राइट? देन दिस मीन्स कि जब मैं 26 में अपना ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट करूंगा, तो वो मार्केट साइज हर एक साल 4.5% बढ़ के 1016 नहीं रह जाएगा, वो कुछ और हो जाएगा, राइट? सो गाइज, जब भी आपको एजम्पशंस मिलता है ना, आपको ये समझना पड़ेगा, राइट? देखो, कभी भी हम फाइनेंशियल मॉडल बनाते हैं, कुछ चीजें होती हैं जो हिडन एजम्पशंस होती हैं, जैसे ये है। अब मुझे मेरे पास यहाँ इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है कि ये 1015 मार्केट शेयर क्या FY 27 का शेयर है। अगर FY 27 का शेयर होता तो मैं ऑपरेशन ईयर 1 लेके चलता, राइट? बट यहाँ पे मेरे पास कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं, तो आई एम एज्यूमिंग कि जब मैंने कंस्ट्रक्शन स्टार्ट किया 23 में, ये 23 का मार्केट साइज है, राइट? तो मुझे इसको 27 में अगर स्टार्ट करना है, तो मुझे उसको उस हिसाब से एडजस्ट करना पड़ेगा मार्केट शेयर, राइट? सो दैट्स व्हाई आई लिंक्ड इट टू पीरियड नंबर 1, इसलिए आपको कंस्ट्रक्शन में यूनिट सोल्ड आ रहा है, राइट? बट डोंट वरी, ये यूनिट सोल्ड हम जब रिवेन्यू प्लॉट करेंगे तो वहां पे आपको कंस्ट्रक्शन पीरियड में कोई भी रिवेन्यू नहीं दिखेगा। सो डोंट वरी अबाउट इट, वी विल टेक केयर ऑफ इट, राइट? बट अभी यहाँ पे समझना जरूरी है गाइस। अब उसके बाद देखिए, आपका यहाँ पे प्राइस आ गया है, राइट? यू हैव योर प्राइस, राइट? नाउ हाउ कैन आई कैलकुलेट माई प्राइस, राइट? दिस इज द क्वेश्चन गाइस। सो इन ऑर्डर टू कैलकुलेट प्राइस, जब हमारा पहला पीरियड होगा, राइट? हम कह रहे हैं कि 2023 में प्राइस है 25 रुपीज। अब मैं 26 में ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट करूं या 27 में, अगर प्राइस इंक्रीज परसेंटेज है, देन दिस मीन्स कि मेरे को 26 और 27 में जो एप्लीकेबल प्राइस होगा, मुझे को वहां तक पहुंचना है, right? So now how can I achieve it? So I can say equals to if, again, my this period is equals to 1, right? Then give me what? Then give me this price, right? Multiplied by my premium, right? If there is any premium, so I can say multiply this with premium, right? Otherwise, 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 give me previous value multiplied by 1 plus my price increase, right? So then I can probably link it to this sale, right? Now you can see your prices are populated. right? Okay. So guys, this is the all assumptions that we had regarding our first product type. अब हम दूसरे प्रोडक्ट टाइप का कैलकुलेशंस करते हैं, राइट? तो आइए हम दूसरा प्रोडक्ट टाइप का कैलकुलेशन करते हैं. तो गाइज, जस्ट कि हमें डबल मेहनत नहीं करना पड़े, हम कुछ चीज़ों को फ्रीज कर लेते हैं, राइट? सो लेट अस सपोज आई कैन से K15 में हम वी कैन फ्रीज रो, राइट? वी कैन फ्रीज रो इन K15, and here also I can freeze my row, right? Okay. अब guys, next है आपका incubators. Let's copy this and let's copy it down, and I can say my incubators. Okay. अब guys, incubators का कितना market size है case study में? 10,260 INR 1000. So I can say 10,216. अब इसका भी मार्केट शेयर 11.5 है, ग्रोथ रेट 1.5 है, और इसका प्राइस है 1 INR पर यूनिट, राइट? सो लेट्स चेंज इट टू 1 INR thousands पर यूनिट, राइट? ओके. और प्राइस प्रीमियम यहाँ पे भी जीरो ही है. ओके. सो गाइज, एक बार कभी भी आप ऐसे करते हैं, फॉर्मूला कॉपी करते हैं, एक बार चेक कर लीजिए इफ इट इज कैलकुलेटेड करेक्टली और नॉट. जैसे ये फॉर्मूला में देखिए, अभी भी ये उसके प्राइस से रेफर कर रहा है, तो वी नीड टू चेंज आवर फॉर्मूला अ लिटिल बिट, राइट? हमें क्या चेंज करना है गाइज? हमें यहाँ पे चेंज करना है, हमें इसके मार्केट साइज से मल्टीप्लाई करना है इसका मार्केट शेयर, राइट? सो लेट्स, ओ सॉरी, सो लेट्स फ्रीज इट. और फिर यहाँ पे जो J58 को ये रेफर कर रहा है, उसको हमें रेफर कराना है यहाँ पे. अरे गाइस, नाउ यू कैन सी योर मॉडल इज वेरी डायनामिक. ओके. अब मुझे यहाँ पे भी चेंज करना होगा गाइस. इंस्टेड ऑफ लिंकिंग इट टू J60, नाउ आई नीड टू लिंक इट विथ माई J68 cell, right? And 1 plus J61, so it is referring to the price premium of my which thing, of my first product, but it should reflect, it should be linked to the price premium of my second product, right? And then 1 plus K57. So what is 1 plus K57? Nothing, but we need to link it with the price increase. So it is, which is 1 plus K48. And now you can see, right guys? So in this way, you have successfully completed the assumption sheet. See, guys, my style of working and your style of working can be different. So don't just worry about it, right? There is nothing to worry about the style of workings, right? I can use some different set of formulas, but you can do it in some better way, right? So that's why it is always advisable that think of your own logic. किसी का बताया हुआ फॉर्मूला पे नहीं चलना है, राइट? बट आप खुद से सोचिए कि आप वहां तक कैसे पहुंच सकते हैं, देन ओनली यू विल बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड एक्सेल, राइट? अगर आप वहां तक खुद नहीं सोच पाएंगे, देन बिलीव मी, यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड एक्सेल गाइस, राइट? बिकॉज एक्सेल इज वेरी वास्ट एंड इट्स वेरी कॉम्प्लिकेटेड, आई वुड से, राइट? सो गाइज, हमारा प्रोडक्ट एजम्पशंस हो गया. अब उसके बाद नेक्स्ट व्हाट डू वी हैव COGS assumptions, right? And COGS assumptions should also be for sterilizers and incubators. So let's start plotting it. So I can say Control C and let's paste it here, right? And I can say COGS assumptions, right? Now my COGS assumptions will be separately for sterilizers, and it is going to be separate for incubators. And what are the three components for COGS guys? Direct materials, labor cost, other, right? So let's start writing it. So I can say direct materials, labor, labor cost, and other. And what are the units, guys, which I have assumed in case study? So the units is INR thousands per unit, right? So I can say INR thousands per unit, right? And what is the value, guys? Value is 11, 2.5, 1.5. So 11, 2.5, 1.5, if I'm not wrong. Yes, it's right. Okay. Now, guys, we are supposed to calculate it, right? Now, I have said you that, like, if there will be inflation, right, then we are going to counter those inflation, right? So, guys, let's say equals to if, right, equals to if my operations period flag, operations period number flag. Where is my operations period number flag, guys? I calculated it somewhere. Okay, so let's freeze row here. It is equals to 0, right? And then I can say if again, if my operations period flag is equals to 1, right? Then give me what? Then give me this value, right, guys? Then give me these values. Otherwise, if this is not the case, right, then give me previous value multiplied by 1 plus my inflation, right, guys? 1 minute, guys. If this is equals to 0, then 0. ओके, अब यहाँ पे एक चीज समझिए. अब देयर कैन बी सम क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम सम पीपल सेइंग दैट कि सर आपने यहाँ पे 11 को ही फर्स्ट पीरियड से क्यों नहीं स्टार्ट किया, व्हाई यू आर स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम ऑपरेशंस. तो गाइज मैं आप लोग को जस्ट दिखाना चाह रहा हूँ कि दोनों चीजें होती हैं. देखिए यहाँ पे कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन नहीं है, तो मैंने प्राइस के लिए माना कि ठीक है, वो बोल रहा है कि 2023 में ये प्राइस है, राइट. और यहाँ पे कॉस्ट के लिए मैं मान रहा हूँ कि वो बोल रहे नहीं, जब से तुम ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट करोगे वहां पे ये 11 INR थाउजेंड्स पर यूनिट का तुमको कॉस्ट पड़ेगा, राइट. तो आप चाहें तो आप यहाँ पे भी इसको 11 बना सकते हैं, राइट. लाइक यू कैन से कि नहीं, ये FY23 का 11 कॉस्ट है, उसके बाद से हमको इसको इन्फ्लेट करना होगा, तो जब ऑपरेशन स्टार्ट होगा तब वो कॉस्ट एप्लीकेबल होगा, राइट. सो यू कैन डू इट आइदर वे. अगर आपके पास इंफॉर्मेशन नहीं है तो देर इज नथिंग राइट और रॉन्ग इन इट, बट आई जस्ट वांटेड टू शो यू बोथ द मेथड्स. दैट्स व्हाई आई स्टार्टेड इट फ्रॉम FY26, कि मैंने माना कि FY26 का ये 11 प्राइस है, राइट गाइस. Okay, then next, we are supposed to do the same set of exercise for incubators as well, right? So let's copy this. I will say copy this whole thing, right? And let's just change the assumptions. What are the assumptions, guys? So assumption says 0.6, 0.175, 0.1. So I can say 0.6, 0.175, and 0.1. Okay, guys, now you can see due to the freezing, everything is done and we are not supposed to change anything, right? So your formula is getting populated correctly. So guys, this is all regarding your COGS assumptions. Next, we are having our CapEx assumptions. Sorry, OPEX assumptions, which are the operating expenses. There are two types of expenses, guys. One is the expenses which is known as direct expenses or COGS. By COGS, we mean that whatever goods are sold and whatever the costs are dependent on the number of goods that are manufactured, those are direct costs. And the second thing is indirect costs, which we say operating expenses. And these expenses are independent of the number of units that you are selling, right? Okay. So now, guys, you can see, like, for OPEX assumptions, we have several line items, and we say that the inflation in OPEX, except for manufacturing staff salaries, is 2.5%. But in our model, we created a series input for 2.5%. So we will link it from there, right, guys? So, guys, let's start it, and let's start building it, and let's say how this progresses. अब यहाँ पे मैं क्या करूंगा, यहाँ पे मैं बोलूंगा कि जो मेरा 175 INR है मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टाफ का सैलरीज, ये मेरा 23 में एप्लीकेबल है, राइट? तो जब मैं 26 में पहुंचूंगा तो वो इन्फ्लेट होके उस लेवल पे एडजस्ट हो जाना चाहिए सैलरी, राइट? गाइज, प्रैक्टिकली सोचिए कि अगर आज के डेट में अगर आप 10,000 कमा रहे हैं तो आप 10 साल बाद भी 10,000 नहीं कमाएंगे, राइट? Because your salary will get adjusted according to your growth, according to the market, according to the inflation, right? Your salary will be adjusted. So this these things you need to take care of. अभी आइए हम इसको करते हैं. तो गाइज, सबसे पहला जो मेरा लाइन आइटम है वो क्या है? वो है मेरा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टाफ का सैलरीज, राइट? तो सबसे पहले हम बनाते हैं मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टाफ का सैलरीज. Guys, let's say before it, let me do one thing. Let me say here opaque assumptions, right? अब हम यहाँ मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टाफ का सैलरीज बना रहे हैं, और मैं यहाँ मान रहा हूँ कि मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टाफ का सैलरीज में कोई ग्रोथ नहीं है, राइट? सो इन्फ्लेशन इन ओपेक्स एक्सेप्ट फॉर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टाफ सैलरीज. तो गाइज, मैं ये सब पॉइंट क्यों लिख रहा हूँ? बिकॉज आई वांटेड टू मेक यू अवेयर कि आप केस स्टडी देख के सब कुछ फॉर कोई, यू कांट टेक इट फॉर ग्रांटेड, राइट? यू नीड टू थिंक कि क्या केस स्टडी में दिया हुआ है और क्या हमें करना है, राइट? सो दैट्स व्हाई आई एम मेकिंग दिस कॉम्प्लेक्स, राइट? सो दैट आप सब चीज को जनरलाइज नहीं करो, राइट? अगर आप यहाँ पे मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टाफ मान के चलिए, ये केस स्टडी आपके इंटरव्यू में आया, राइट? और आपने मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टाफ सैलरीज को भी 2.5% बढ़ा दिया बिना पढ़े हुए, देन आप सोचेंगे कि आपने सही किया, बट क्या होगा? वो गलत हो जाएगा, राइट? एंड देयर कैन बी चांसेस कि आप रिजेक्ट हो जाओगे. यू आर नॉट पेइंग अटेंशन टू द केस स्टडी विच इज गिवन टू यू, राइट? द गाइडलाइंस विच इज गिवन टू यू, यू आर नॉट पेइंग अटेंशन टू इट. सो यू नीड टू थिंक इट, राइट? आप दोबारा पढ़िए, आप, देर इज नो हार्म, राइट? सो गाइज, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टाफ सैलरीज को कॉपी कर लेते हैं हम यहाँ से. ओके. अब मैन्युफैक्चरिंग स्टाफ सैलरीज का जो यूनिट्स है, सब INR थाउजेंड्स में दिया हुआ है, राइट? सो आई कैन से INR थाउजेंड्स. और ये कितना है गाइस? ये मेरा फर्स्ट ईयर पे 175 है, और इसके लिए हम मान रहे हैं कि ये हर एक साल 175 ही होगा, करेक्ट गाइस? ओके. देन नेक्स्ट, व्हाट नेक्स्ट वी हैव? एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सैलरीज एक्सपेंसेस. ओके. पहले सबको है ना लिस्ट कर लेते हैं, नहीं तो बार बार है ना इधर उधर जाना पड़ेगा. फिर उसके बाद मेंटेनेंस है गाइस. ओके. फिर R&D है. फिर अपना यूटिलिटीज आ जाएगा. फिर उसके बाद अपना लॉजिस्टिक्स आ जाएगा गाइस. फिर अपना अदर एक्सपेंसेस आ जाएगा. गुड. और ये सब आपके INR थाउजेंड्स में रहने वाले हैं, करेक्ट? एनी डाउट गाइस? ओके. अब इन सब का हम प्राइस देख लेते हैं क्विकली कितना है. तो 450, 150, 100. So I can say 450, 150, 100, right? 450, 150, 100, 175, 150, 200. 175, 150, and last we have 200. ओके, तो हमने यहाँ पे 450 150 वगैरह लिख लिया। अब सब में 2.5% का ग्रोथ देना है, राइट? तो हमने इन्फ्लेशन को टाइम सीरीज लिया है गाइस। तो व्हाट आई विल डू, टेल मी व्हाट आई कैन डू। ओके, so I can simply say equals to this multiplied by 1 plus my inflation rate which I have assumed, right? हमने यहाँ पे assume किया, इसमें हम रो को फ्रीज कर लेते हैं so that we can copy the same formula till last, right guys? Okay, now after OPEX assumptions, what next do we have in our case study? So after OPEX, here comes the most important, that are CAPEX assumptions. So let's start building our CAPEX assumptions, guys. So I can say copy. Now I can say my CAPEX assumptions. So let's start building it, guys. So for CAPEX assumptions, what's the first thing that we have? First, we have land cost. And for land cost, we have two things, guys. One is land area, and the second thing is cost per square meter of land. It is given in your case study, guys. Don't worry about it. So land area is in square meters, and this is in INR thousands, right? And how much it is, guys? It is 5,000 and 0.20. So the price is 5,000 and 0.20. This is the one thing that we have. Next, we have some capex assumptions related to storage area, right? Let's try this, guys, if it can be pasted in Excel easily. This is still better instead of doing it again and again. So raw material storage area, how much do we have, guys? It's INR 1025, finished goods 25, and depreciation 15%. So I can say INR K, and the depreciation associated with it is 15%, right? And how much is the cost? 25, 25, and depreciation is nothing but your 15%. After storage area, what's next do we have? We have land development cost. Let's copy it. Let's paste it. Okay. And this is the first thing that we have. And this is also in INR thousands, and its value is 800 INR thousands. And what's next do we have here? Depreciation of how much percentage, guys? Depreciation of 10%. Okay. Then what's next do we have? Next we have related to production area. Okay. Good. So let's copy this, guys, first of all. Let's try to copy it. Let's sort it out. Work base. So we covered all things: work base, electric tool, conveyor, electric forklift, and packaging and labeling system. Okay. Then below it also we have something. So let's copy it as well. and our thousands. BAC is there. Clean room system is there. Okay. So let's quickly check, guys. Products manufacturing is there, spatial flooring, IT system and software, testing zig and equipment, HVAC, clean room system, and depreciation. Okay. Now let's start plotting the values. INR thousands. Okay. So what are the values, guys? 22, 60, 240, 60, 240. So 22, 60, 240. Then we have 60 again. And then we have 240 again. And then we have products in 120, 60, 180. 120, 60, 180. Then we have 360, 240, 180. 360, 240, 180. And what is the depreciation, guys? It's nothing but your 15% of depreciation. Okay, guys. Cool. So let's make this table more clean. We have one more thing. Wait a minute. We have count as well. Number of units count. For everything it is one. So we need to populate it as well. So I can say number of units, and here I can say cost per unit. Number of units is one for everything. Okay. So production area is done. What's next? We have lots of capex line items, guys. Furnitures and fixtures. Okay. Estimated cost, total vehicle cost, depreciation. Guys, total vehicle cost is there because we just wanted to say key for furnitures and fixtures there will be transportation cost. That's why. So this is again nothing but in INR thousands. This also in INR thousands. This one should be in percentage. And what are the costs, guys? 100, 200, and 20%. So 100, 200, and 20%. Okay. Then next, what next do we have? Utility equipments and connections, if I'm not wrong. Yes. Okay. Utility equipment and connections. And there will be depreciation. So just say depreciation. You can see how realistic this case study is, that for everything there is a different set of depreciation, I'm assuming, right? And it is 250, guys, and 20%. It is 250 and it is nothing but 20%. Okay. Then next, other capex costs. Okay, and this is what? This is again 220%. 220%. Okay, guys. Then let's move ahead. Don't we have maintenance cost here? 1 minute, guys. Just give me a second. We have some web maintenance. Yeah, it's here. Okay. I was just worried. Sorry. I thought I forgot maintenance. Okay, guys. So this is all regarding your capex. Then what's next we have? Next we have debt assumptions. Okay. So debt assumptions. I think these are the last. So debt assumptions. Let's copy it, guys. Okay. Debt assumptions. Date 1/1/2026. Guys, by mistake in case study it is written as 1/1/2025. It should be 1/1/2026 because our operations is getting started from that year. Loan terms I am assuming it for 6 years. And interest rate I am assuming to be 5%. Okay. Now guys, there are two debt options that we have. We have two debt options, right? The number one is nothing but related to, like, there are two debt options. One is the linear repayment and the second one is the annuity repayment. So how can I say? I can say my debt payment option, right? And what are my debt payment options, guys? So my debt payment options can be my linear or it can be my annuity repayment, right? So let's write it. I can say linear repayment, I can say annuity repayment, right? Okay. Guys, I'm showing you one smart way or one, I would say, uh one very good looking thing, right? So just pay attention to this. So I'm creating a box here, right? So you can see I created a box here and now I'm going to format control this box, right? And I can say what will be my input range, right? So my input range is going to be my debt repayment comma and annuity repayment. Okay. And then there is a cell link. So this cell link says that, okay, so where do you want the output for this? So I can say I want the output for this in I-137, right? And the selection type should be single, right? Now just see the benefit of this, right? So you can see, if I click on annuity repayment, then this says, okay, so your option 2 is selected. If I click on let's say linear repayment, then it says, okay, your option 1 is selected, right? So on the basis of this, then I will use the if condition to arrive at the value, right guys? So now I can say this to be my debt repayment profile selection. Okay guys, sorry. Okay, so let's make this middle aligned. No, it should be fine like this, right guys? So now you can see, you can select, you can easily toggle between it, right? Okay. Now in model, how I am going to say, flow this, right? So I can say equals to index, right? Index of what? So this is my table range, right? And one, right? And give me a exact. Okay. So now you can see annuity repayment. This one is also updated to annuity repayment, right? You can see the magic of this switch. How I inserted this switch, I go to developer tab. If the developer tab is not activated in your Excel, go to file, and from options you can activate the developer tab. Otherwise, if it is activated, go to insert, then form controls, you can choose this button, list box form control, and you can do this. Now since this cell I am using as a modulus input, so I can say give them a color, right? Modulus input, right? Now these two cells, what I can do, I can group them, or you can hide it, right? Because these are not required. So you can say, wait a second, I can group them, right? Now you can see it is grouped. Okay guys, now let's move ahead. There are no much assumptions that are now left. Next one is working capital and then tax assumption. So let's copy it in one go, right guys? Don't worry about it. So let's copy it. Working capital assumptions, let's paste it here. Inventory, days, accounts receivables, then we have accounts payables, then let's insert a line in between, then paste it here. Okay, cool. Okay guys, for inventory we are going to have in days. And how much days guys? This should be mentioned 90, 60, 30. So let's say 90, 60 and 30. And deductibility, loss carry forward, guys, don't worry about this term. I will make you understand this once I will create the tax, right? And this is in percentage, tax rate is in percentage. So guys, tax rate, let's be more realistic according to India. Let's say tax rate to be 20%. So change this. uh, Rest of the things are zero. So let's see, 0, 0, and let's change this to 20%. Okay, cool. So guys, this is all regarding assumption sheet. I think your assumption sheet are now complete. So what you can do, you can go 2 to 3 rows below it, and you can say end of seat, right? And you can select this, you can give them a background color, right? And in order to make our model more presentable, what I'm going to do, I'm going to hide this, right guys? Okay, now the most important thing that remains is highlighting the numbers which are in numbers, like which are hard coded or which are formulated, right? So for hard coded things, what I can do, I can press F5, right? I can go to spatial, I can go to constants. I only want numbers as my constants. Okay, it highlighted all those. I say give them a this color and give them a outside border. Wait a minute, guys. Let me just go there again. I want to give them all borders in order to make it more presentable. Constant numbers, this. Give them all borders. Okay, now it looks better. Okay, guys, so let's quickly check. Nothing's like percentage should be in percentage, numbers should be in numbers. Everything is perfectly fine, and it should be fine, I believe. Okay, guys, so here it is. Here I need to change it to modulus input. Good. Everything is fine, right? Okay. Now go back to your setting sheet, and here also we are going to do the same thing, right? So we are again here also going to make the things saying end of sheet. Make this gray. Okay, cool guys, and here also will T, right? Make them hidden. Cool. So guys, this is all regarding the setting of input sheet. So this video is completed. Now guys, in our next video we will talk about calculation. So we will start from capex and then we will move substantially in our model. So thank you so much guys. Please subscribe to our channel and don't worry, if you don't understand anything, please let us know, we will help you understand, right? So that's it from our side guys. Thank you so much guys for joining, and please let us know if you face any problem, and please share these videos to your friends, because these are the concepts that are taught by nobody, but again these are available free of cost. So please आपके दोस्तों को भी मदद मिले, so please share to them and please subscribe our channel. Thank you so much guys.